In the ancient world, winter was more than a season. It was a force, dangerous, unpredictable, and deeply feared. The cold was not just weather, it was a threat to survival. Long before Christmas existed, humanity looked into the darkest nights of the year and wondered if the sun would ever return. They watched the shadows lengthen, unsure if the dawn would come. The traditions we celebrate today began as desperate acts of hope. Every candle lit was a battle cry against the dark, in a world where light meant life. For thousands of years, communities across Europe marked the winter solstice. It was more than just a date on a calendar, it was the longest, deepest night of the year. To these ancient people, the darkness was a living force. It was a hungry presence that encroached on their homes, waiting just beyond the flicker of their firelight. They watched the sun shrink day by day, shadows growing longer and colder. There was a genuine fear, a belief that the light could disappear entirely, never to rise again. And so, the winter solstice rituals emerged not from joy or celebration, but from a primal need for survival. In the frozen north of Scandinavia, the winter was a beast to be tamed. To fight back the dark, families would drag home enormous Yule logs, massive timbers chosen with great care. Once lit, this wasn't just a fire, it was a vigil. The log was meant to burn continuously for 12 full days and nights, a sacred hearth that could not be allowed to die out. The Norse believed this fire was magic. They thought the flames would call the sun back into the sky, while the smoke kept the hostile, unseen spirits of winter at bay. From these ancient bonfires came one of the earliest seeds of our Christmas traditions. It is a reminder that we still seek the same comfort today, the warmth of light, in the coldest months. As winter descended, the world turned gray. Most of nature surrendered to the cold, withering and turning brittle under the ice. But amidst the decay, the evergreens remained. They stood vibrant and green, seemingly untouched by the biting frost. To the ancient Europeans, this resilience was nothing short of a miracle. They saw these trees not just as plants, but as something sacred. They were the ultimate symbols of life itself, living proof that nature could withstand the death of winter. To capture that power, people brought the forest indoors. They decorated their doorways and halls with boughs of pine, sharp holly, and twisting ivy. These weren't just ornaments, they were spiritual shields, believed to protect the home from misfortune and evil spirits. These simple acts of bringing green into the home would survive for thousands of years. They evolved through the centuries, eventually transforming into the Christmas wreaths, the garlands we hang today, and the very first ancestors of the Christmas tree. Across the vast Roman Empire, December didn't bring silence. It brought Saturnalia, the most anticipated festival of the year, dedicated to the god Saturn. It was a time when the strict order of Rome was paused, and the world was allowed to breathe. For an entire week, the cities erupted into a spectacle of feasting, gift-giving, and gambling. The streets were filled with music and public celebration. It was a period of absolute excess, where joy was the only requirement. But the true shock of Saturnalia was the chaos. The rules of society vanished. Hierarchies were completely reversed. In a stunning display of freedom, masters would serve dinner to their slaves, and for a few fleeting days, all men were equal. Rome embraced this temporary freedom with open arms. And though the empire eventually fell, the spirit of this party survived. The core customs of Saturnalia, the gifts, the feasts, and the gathering of friends, are still the heartbeat of our holiday traditions today. December 25th was not chosen by accident. For the Romans, this specific date held powerful, ancient symbolism. It marked the festival of Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun. This moment was the turning point of the year. It signaled that the darkest days were finally ending. The sun had fought the winter and won, proving that light was returning to the world. As Christianity began to spread through the empire, the church faced a challenge. Rather than banning this well-loved celebration, they chose to adopt it. They claimed this date to celebrate the birth of Christ. It was a strategic brilliance, a seamless blend of the old world and the new. They took a festival of the physical sun, and transformed it into a celebration of the Son of God. History tells us that Christianity didn't simply erase the ancient world. Instead, it did something far more clever: it absorbed it. The church realized that people would not easily give up the rituals that gave them comfort in the dark. So, the pagan fires of Yule were tamed, shrinking down to become the holy candles of the altar. The sacred evergreens of the forest were brought inside, re-baptized as Christmas greenery to deck the halls of the faithful. The wild gift-giving of Roman Saturnalia was softened, transforming into the Christian virtue of generosity. And the pagan solstice, the celebration of the returning physical sun, was rewritten to celebrate the birth of the true light of the world. Rather than a clash of cultures, the rituals merged. Old meanings were layered with new faith. And because of this strategic blend, Christmas didn't just survive history, it emerged stronger, becoming the global tradition we know today. If you look back across the map of human history, you find a common thread. In almost every culture, midwinter was more than just a season. It was a profound moment of reflection. As the world went quiet, humanity turned inward. It was a sacred time to gather close to the fire. We used these long, silent nights to tell stories, to remember our ancestors, and to honor the spirits who walked in the shadows. The veil between the living and the past felt incredibly thin. Above all, it was a season of waiting. From the snowy peaks of the north to the stone temples of the Mediterranean, everyone shared a singular hope: that the sun would return, and life would begin again. Despite their vast differences in language and belief, these ancient societies shared the exact same instinct. They all felt the primal need to push back the night, to bring warmth into the darkness and community into the cold. This yearning did not disappear. It survived the centuries to become the emotional core of Christmas. It is the reason we still light lights today, a timeless, human act of hope. As the centuries turned, these winter traditions didn't stay locked in the ancient world. They began a journey. Carried by explorers, immigrants, and families seeking new lives, the seeds of the holiday traveled across oceans and vast continents. The flame was passed from hand to hand, traveling further than the ancients could have ever imagined. Everywhere they landed, these traditions adapted. They blended seamlessly with new beliefs, strange new languages, and local customs. The German tradition of the evergreen tree met the English love of carols. The Dutch lore of Sinterklaas crossed the Atlantic, transforming into the modern Santa Claus. Slowly, Christmas transformed into something truly multicultural. It became a rich, complex tapestry, woven from threads of pagan solstice rituals, solemn Christian faith, and joyful cultural celebrations. It grew into a holiday that belongs to everyone, yet has its roots everywhere. So, every tradition we recognize today is actually an echo of history. Every ornament we hang, every song we sing, and every candle we light was shaped by the hands of those who came before us. We are repeating the gestures of our ancestors, keeping their hope alive. In the end, this is the true gift of the season. It is the realization that we are part of a story much larger than ourselves. A story of light, survival, and unity that has been told for thousands of years, and continues with us. X tapestry, woven from threads of pagan solstice rituals, solemn Christian faith, and joyful cultural celebrations. It grew into a holiday that belongs to everyone, yet has its roots everywhere. Christmas did not begin in a manger, nor in Rome, nor in the frozen forests of the north. It began in the human heart, in a shared desire to find hope in darkness. Every flame, every evergreen, every gift, every gathering, echoes a world thousands of years old. A world that still lives in our traditions today.